Welcome, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome, all ladies, gentlemen, world, universe, hell, even outer space is welcome. Reduction to alien. Talk about robots taking over the world. Let's throw that in while we at it. As you guys can see, you can hear my voice. See one of my rapping videos that's uploaded on my page on YouTube if you want to actually hear what I'm saying. As far as my freestyles, that's out on my pages currently right now. Also on my stories, there's Raw and SmackDown from this week's predictions. There's commentary like Raw and SmackDown shoutouts. As I said, I would do update my account on YouTube that you can subscribe to Cream KDK right on here. If you haven't already, you guys can write it down, memorize it, take a picture, video, tape it, screenshot it, whatever you gotta do. I'm inviting all y'all to come on and join the party. Join it all. Subscribe to Cream KZK YouTube so you don't miss out on anything that you want to see, need to see, and updations and more. On my page in my story, there are some Raw and SmackDown current pictures and videos. As you see, I'm doing this video a little bit different than I normally would. I am got my camera so I can show you guys the photos and the videos and the words updations that I'm talking about. And as I do that, you can hear my voice talking in the background. That way you guys are watching and enjoying the photos and the videos for entertainment, but you can also hear the updations along with my voice like we normally do in these type of videos. You can hear the beat in the background, kind of get some freestyles. Usually I do that at funny moments and things on here. This is a commentary / reaction to Monday Night Raw this week. Now, I did it on time on Tuesday, but my video, when I uploaded it, it did not. Once I stopped it, I was here on my laptop videotaping it, and once I paused it from the video, like sometimes it's done in the past, it didn't tell me till after I got done videotaping the whole thing that the video was not accurate to share. So I probably should have went like maybe 5 minutes and then stopped the video. I did that, and then that was okay to do my video so I can upload it on YouTube, but it would not allow me to do that. It wasn't accurate, so I had to redo the whole entire video again. I did my, as you can see, I showed you on my Cream KZK, this is the page. You can check out over 1,477 videos for you guys to watch on my Cream KZK page right there to see this past week Raw and SmackDown predictions if you're interested into that. If you haven't already seen it or watched it or liked it or comment or subscribed or followed on Instagram or YouTube or added me on Snapchat, there's the page right there. Thank y'all who have already watched and liked and subscribed and seen those videos. A shout out and a big old round of applause. Thank you guys for doing that and inviting the rest of y'all who haven't to join the party so you don't miss out on anything that you want to know, need to know more updations and things like this. That you can also see my other interviews. There's my Cream KDK story for the shoutouts of Raw and SmackDown through that Instagram that I was talking about, to be involved in the conversation, whether you like the comment or you commented on yourself. I take a picture of it so I can share your account along with the world for people to come and follow you and go on your page as well. My way of giving you a shout out for being involved in the commentary conversations through Raw and SmackDown, including the support like Raw and SmackDown predictions as I'm showing you right now in the beginning of this video, along with this week's reflecting on SmackDown before and after that podcast is out right now as we speak. If you want to watch that and more, there's the rest of the podcasts. If you want to see a little bit of me, my family, my friends, or some personal information or just funny and entertaining, there is myself interviews reflecting on me and my life and when I first started uploading these videos in YouTube and up till now where it's all is and where it's landed. And as you can see, there's stiffness because there is some updated freestyles, as you saw that video in the beginning, me freestyling. If you're interested in seeing more snippets like that, did some snippets, as well as the Raw and SmackDown predictions this week, as well as the shoutouts to Raw and SmackDown, and there also is the actual video from this week if you're interested in seeing WWE Comics by Krazy, and that is where you'll find this week's Raw comic this week. And I will be doing SmackDown predictions and commentary and result for tomorrow for Friday Night SmackDown as well, if you're interested in seeing that, if you haven't already. And as you see over here, here's the social media platinum forums that you can go to: YouTube, Instagram, TikTok, and Snapchat. Take a picture of it, memorize it, write it down, videotape it. There's other social media platinums. You can subscribe on YouTube to see those Raw and SmackDown editions. I showed you my page story. You could be involved in that Instagram. There it is right there. Raw and SmackDown conversations, give you shout outs, and you can see on this playlist that's Raw and SmackDown WWE Live NXT, and even Saturday main event, including this past Monday's Raw comic, all on this playlist. And there's even added me on Snapchat for other social media. Like I said, there is more. Like my Korean KZK page right here, the latest Korean KZK caught a few minutes ago freestyle that I have done for you guys on Tuesday. And there's more like it. And as far as Wednesday, as you can see, those of you who don't know, there's a new 2K25 original, 2K25 Bloodline Edition, Legendary Edition, and even other video games involved. And it's all right here for me streaming video games on Wednesday for you guys. If you guys want to see that and more, go ahead and subscribe and check it out. That's a new playlist and updated videos for video game streaming. And you guys can watch more videos, which is what this is, commentary / reaction to Monday Night Raw this week. You can watch my other commentary / reaction videos on this playlist right here if you want to. So, with all that being said and done, we're going to jump right into this from this past Monday Night Raw. And also, one last thing before we get into it, I've also been updating my account. As you can see, if anything, people with me, the playlist, if y'all haven't seen it already, it is currently updated. The past Friday Night SmackDown, when I was in Chicago, since Friday Night SmackDown was live here in Chicago, we had a Friday Night SmackDown in Chicago around WrestleMania, and I was in Chicago last year around Survivor Series, so I wanted to share that with you. And Friday Night SmackDown is on this playlist, as well as Monday Night Raw taking place in Minnesota this week, as well in Minneapolis, as to say. There's a Monday Night Raw live show that's after Raw and SmackDown went off air, including WWE Live and NXT and even A&W. Well, there's here live that I've updated currently right now as we speak, and there's other playlists and things that you can watch and you can see and you can enjoy right on here. Let's take a subscribe button to Korean KZK right there. Let's see the gameplay or the predictions of the commentary result, or this video commentary / reaction to Monday Night Raw and the Raw and SmackDown videos, results, or get shout outs or updations or freestyles or snippets, and also the social media platinum forms are on each descriptions like this right here. You should see I got all the photos and videos and things above and things like that are uploaded into the information additionally, so that you know how to spell it and you know what's happening, what's going on. Those are all the social media platinum forms. So subscribe to the YouTube channel and check out the Raw and SmackDown videos I was talking about, or the predictions to Raw and SmackDown, or more videos like it, or you get the reaction. There's the Instagram where we had the conversation. You can just like literally my comment or the picture, and I'll add your name as a shout out and appreciation to you. Or you can add on Snapchat so you can get more updates on the page story and highlights like my podcast is like I was talking about reflecting on SmackDown podcast for last week, and I will be doing a before and after that podcast as we're getting closer and closer 1 week from WrestleMania this week, as well as this commentary slash reaction to Monday Night Raw, which is what this video is right here, right now. Now that we got that out of the way, we're gonna jump right into it. So, with all that being said, let's jump right into it. Let's start off with this past week of Monday Night Raw. As this week got a little bit of haywire, a little bit crazy. Updated, not too much. I can tell you that this was a better Monday Night Raw this past week than it was the week before. The week before, I think that Monday Night Raw, some parts of that Raw was good, but other parts, I'm glad I didn't waste my money going to that Raw. It was suckish and straight down the toilet. Friday Night SmackDown Chicago was through the roof. Definitely made up for it. I'm glad when I visited Chicago on that SmackDown. If you guys are interested to see that video up on YouTube, the famous people and me. And this past Monday Night Raw was through the roof when Monday Night Raw is the number one. Raw is red brand. Number one brand, Monday Night Raw, and why Raw is red. 1 week, one more Monday Night Raw before WrestleMania. 2 SmackDowns tomorrow, and I will be doing my SmackDown prediction. If you're interested in seeing that, go ahead, keep your eyes out. Check out the other nations for the prediction, the results of that. With all that being said, we gotta jump right in, and we gotta talk about the triple threat women match that has finally been officialized after getting each other's face with the arguments and the kind of playing monkey in the middle. You got special guest referees, you got targeting back and forth going on here. You got a little bit haywire. You got Io Sky, our women's world champion, showing why she's a genius guy, why she's our women's world champion and will not be overlooked nor disrespected as our women's world champion on Monday Night Raw with the genius of the Sky. Io Sky showed up and showed out and proved that last week and earned her way to a triple threat at WrestleMania, along with the EST of WWE, Bianca Belair, watching her 2 best friends tear each other apart. Her one best friend stabbing her in the back, Naomi, and another her best friend, Jay Cargill, just tearing each other up seconds before she has to be out of that octagon and have to focus on a WrestleMania opportunity. So all the pressure, all the shenanigans, all the toughness, she had a bunch of emotions going on there. She had sadness because her friend stabbed her in the back. She was shocked because her other friend was just beating the hell out of her. She had confusions and questions like the rest of us. Had to put a fake smile on. She had Liv Morgan right in front of her. Wanted to tear her down as much as she was emotionally and mentally torn down at that part, but physically. Went through hell and back, survived 5 other women, earned her way to WrestleMania, so you gotta give it why she is the EST of WWE. Bianca Belair earned her way to WrestleMania again for a championship belt again, as she's already been at WrestleMania multiple occasions and been champion, won championship belts at WrestleMania, so this should be no different. Going to WrestleMania to win a championship belt again as Women's World Champion for Bianca Belair. She's been at WrestleMania before. She's won the championship belt at WrestleMania before, and she's had the highs stacked against her, going against horsewomen like Becky Lynch at SummerSlam or her WrestleMania when her and Sasha Banks broke the record when she won the SmackDown Women's Championship belt right in front of her family, right in front of her friends. So you know the pressure was on her with her family front row. You know that tensions were high with her being the rookie. You know that the pressure and all eyes was on her for a championship belt. And at WrestleMania, she overcome that. She beat Sasha Banks, one of the best in the horsewomen in the company, for a Women's World Championship belt. So it shouldn't be no different than Bianca Belair going to WrestleMania this year for a Women's World Championship belt in this triple threat. The ESTW for a reason has earned it. Doesn't matter if people like it or not. They can boo her if she won. She showed up and showed out, and she's going to continue to do that. And as far as our last third woman added to the proportion, Just want to make it very clear that she has earned her way, just like the other woman. She wasn't handed it. She is former women's world champion. As a former champion, you do get your rematch, so she earned her way, is owed a women's championship at WrestleMania, according to our Raw manager Adam Pearce has said. Of course, as former champions, you don't always get a rematch or an opportunity, so you have to take that opportunity, and that is what Rhea Bloody Ripley has done. She has dominated all the women through Raw, through SmackDown. She has won at WrestleMania as well. She has won against horsewomen like Becky Lynch at WrestleMania as well, and for the women's championship as well. So she'll be no different than her at WrestleMania, going for a title, going against Bianca Belair and Io Sky, people that know her very well, that they came from NXT together. They dominated the Raw and SmackDown as former Raw and SmackDown champions together, tag team champions, overaccomplished big things. Bianca Belair winning 2 in her history of Elimination Chamber. Rhea Ripley winning Survivor Series, leading to Survivor Series War Games for a second time in her career, and beating 29 other women to win the Royal Rumble, as Bianca Belair has also won the Royal Rumble. Both women going to WrestleMania for a championship belt that they already won at WrestleMania. They already won against championships on the line, and they already won when the stats evens was against their odds. So Rhea Ripley and Bianca Belair have accomplished so much, coming from NXT together, knowing each other very well, to now here through Raw and SmackDown, as the EST showed why she is still one of the strongest dominant competitors on SmackDown. Rhea Ripley showed the same thing, why she's Monday Night Mommy, and why the people are behind Monday Night Mommy, so she can win back her Women's World Championship belt at WrestleMania in a triple threat that she has earned her way as former champion, and technically Women's World Champion in that main event. That's what I was talking about, the shenanigans with a special guest referee and getting knocked around, and professional Bianca Belair went out there and did something uncomfortable. She could have disqualified them, but instead Bianca Belair, she's letting them know, hey, I'm the referee, you gotta listen up. She could have disqualified them. She didn't. She knew how important the match was. She could have gone ahead and, hey, it's my Women's World Championship on the line at WrestleMania. I earned my opportunity. Why should I care about this stipulation between these two women? But she went out there, she stuck it up, and she had their backs. And she did what she was supposed to do. She played the referee card. She played along with it. And she did a very good job of it. She could have counted them out when there was 10 counts. She didn't. She took the hit and still went in there and tried to count. So Bianca Belair did well, earning her Elimination Chamber win and earning her way to WrestleMania and going through hoops like referee and signing a contract, when I thought that was the whole point of winning Elimination Chamber. Why the hell is there a contract to sign in the first place? You didn't see John Cena having to go through hoops, who won the Elimination Chamber for the championship against Cody Rhodes at WrestleMania. So why should Bianca Belair? If she stood her ground, she stood up and she stood out, and she said that loud and clear for the words, so respect her. Whether they boo her all they want, they damn well is going to respect her work. And Bianca Belair, with that being said, you got Io Sky in the mix as our Women's World Champion, getting respected, if not the women in the locker room or in the ring. The W Universe is definitely respecting the genius of this guy who has beaten both Bianca Belair and Rhea Ripley in singles competitions and for the championship belt, and is multiple-time tag team women's champion at Damage Control. Going to WrestleMania, walking in as Women's World Champion, showing that that is not a fluke. That is because she's the genius of this guy, and she is not going to be overlooked just because of the physical. Oh, you're shorter than the rest of us, but she ain't short when it comes to those matches, when it comes to that belt, because she has beaten both of these women, the most powerful women in WWE right now, Bianca Belair and Rhea Ripley, on their own one-on-one. So who says she can't beat them in a triple threat, which means no disqualifications, no countouts, anything goes, pinfall submission in the middle of the ring, and walk out as Women's World Champion. While they're busy tearing each other apart, she can sit back and walk out with the championship belt again, just like she showed an example on Raw. Or Bianca Belair can go through all the hoops and shenanigans like she has been doing, while she's so fed up, why she's so angry about it, but all this nonsense going on that shouldn't have happened in the first place, and win at WrestleMania for the championship belt. People can boo her all they want, but they gotta respect her work. And Io Sky would not be overshined and overlooked. Not again. And Rhea Ripley's tired of people saying she was handed something when she's former champion. She took her opportunity, already you're not given the opportunity. And technically she is Women's World Champion in the main event. She overcame and accomplished something that she wasn't able to. She went through hell and back for that championship all last year with her going back and forth all year around. With her and Liv Morgan, so you're damn right she was mad when she won that championship belt. That the referee was knocked out and not there to count. And going to show people why Rhea Ripley earned the right to go to WrestleMania. She's going to show up and show out. It wasn't handed it. And why these women know each other so well, Io would not be disrespected. Why Bianca's underneath all pressure with people putting her back against the wall because they don't want to see her accomplish. They go and see the EST anyway. So Rhea Ripley versus Bianca Belair versus Io Sky. You got the Jesus Sky, you got Mommy, and you got the EST at WWE, and you got the Women's World Championship on the line. No disqualifications, no countouts, anything goes. You don't have to be in the ring to lose your opportunity like Bianca Belair or lose the Women's World Championship belt and not get another opportunity like Rhea Ripley or remain Women's World Champion, who is our Women's World Champion right now, Io Sky. So this is high tensions, up highs. I'm ready to see Rhea Ripley, Bianca Belair, and Io Sky in a triple threat for the Women's World Championship belt at WrestleMania that has been made official by our Raw manager Adam Pearce. But us as a W Universe already knew. Quit the shenanigans, cut the BS, and get straight to the point. We knew this match was going to happen. These women know each other very well, and it needed to happen. And it is for the Women's World Championship belt. Now it's been officialized and gonna happen right here at WrestleMania in less than a week now. We got one more Monday Night Raw than WrestleMania weekend already. So with that being said, with that being announced and officialized, I'm ready. I will announce my predictions when it is WrestleMania weekend. And also, I'll be reflecting on WrestleMania in the podcast for this week, before and after that podcast of Queen Kid's Case. So be sure to have a lookout and reflecting on SmackDown with my before and after that SmackDown results. At SmackDown is tomorrow too, of last week. So be on the lookout for before and after that podcast with Queen Kid's Case on last week's SmackDown results, and be sure to have your eyes on the rest of the playlist and the rest of the subscription, the channel. Because I'll be doing another podcast reflecting towards WrestleMania from this week as well. That'll be the podcast, what it's going to be about, since WrestleMania is a week away. And since SmackDown is already passed and tomorrow's SmackDown, I might as well reflect on it. And I also will be doing the predictions and the commentary results of tomorrow's SmackDown, so be sure to look on the page and the story and the highlights of Creating the Case story and the subscription button as well. And also with the updations, there's also more gameplay and freestyles I uploaded this morning today, and this commentary / reaction to Monday Night Raw that I'm currently doing right now for this video. So with all that being said, moving on to the next topic, speaking of championships and accomplishments and earning your way, wanting and getting an opportunity, let's talk about Lara, our Intercontinental Women's World Champion. She has been through NXT Women's Champion, and now our current Intercontinental first ever Women's Champion, making history on Monday Night Raw in the WWE, and she knocked off our horsewoman, one of the horsewomen, Bayley, just to add some more history and icing on the cake. And now her and Bayley get a tournament to work as a tag team tomorrow on Friday Night SmackDown, the Tornado Tournament Tag Team Women's Division, to earn their right to verse Liv Morgan and Raquel for the Tag Team Women's Championship belt. Of course, Bayley getting a little frustrated. She is a horsewoman. She won the Royal Rumble twice. She is a Grand Slam champion. She is the first ever Tag Team Women's Champion in WWE history. And she is one of the horsewomen that built NXT, which is what people like Lara and Bianca Belair and Io Sky and Rhea Ripley that we're talking about have come from. Building and earning her way, scratching her way by building the company up to get here. And she keeps on getting opportunities, winning these matches and earning her right to the opportunity, getting so close just to get it ripped away. So you can understand why Bayley was frustrated at the end of that match that she couldn't put Lara away, but she has beaten Lara in the past to show that she's still one of the horsewomen around here. To show that she's one of the dominant women. She has been winning singles action on WWE Live, matches we know and see all. And she did get an Intercontinental Women's Championship opportunity, which is a new championship belt besides that in the United States Women's Champ that's new to the women's division. And she has won Elimination Chamber match competition against Lara, so she has nothing to be ashamed of. And her and Lara get an opportunity to win this tournament on SmackDown to go to WrestleMania still and versus Liv and Raquel for the Tag Team Women's Championship belt. So that way Bayley can once again be one half of the Tag Team Women's Champion. Lara has an opportunity to make history, come Intercontinental Champion and one half of the Tag Team Women's Championship at the same time, which we haven't seen a double champion in the women's division since Asuka. So they got big competitions and opportunities for Bayley and Lara. I think that they'll be able to play it out. We got the role model. We got the darkness side. Nightmares, what you would call it. I was calling them the nightmare huggers. Or the darker role models. But darker role models kind of sound weird. So I was calling them what I think Bayley and Lara. I think they're going to win the Tornado Tag Team on SmackDown. I'm going to go off and say that right now. And I think that the Nightmare Huggers are going to get their opportunity against Liv and Raquel for the Tag Team Women's Championship belt at WrestleMania. I will be doing my SmackDown predictions, so check out the page tomorrow. Check out the stories because I'll also be commenting on SmackDown. And check out the commentary results because I'll also be posting the SmackDown result video tomorrow as well as reflecting on last week's SmackDown podcast before and after us, and as well as reflecting to our WrestleMania podcast with this week for a double knockout. We're doing singles, double, triple threat, fatal four. It will be a double knockout last from this week's podcast updation, and it will be a SmackDown WrestleMania one. The prediction result, that's just icing on the cake if you want to be involved in that shout out for SmackDown results tomorrow. This commentary match tomorrow is working out well, high in the sky, and ready to go. And speaking of WrestleMania opportunities in tag team, how about the LWO? It all started back when they attacked the American May decided to attack the knee of Rey Mysterio, and along with the New Day, they're both involved here. Attack Rey Mysterio's knee. LWO gets a little bit of revenge, beating him down for attacking a Hall of Famer like Rey Mysterio's, trying to injure his knee out. Wins the tag team. New Day cheats their way from this masked guy walking around, claiming not to be Chad. His new inherent ground is what he wants to call himself in the Lucha world. And as he wants to be in the Lucha world, he does the one thing a true Lucha wouldn't do, which is rip the mask up of another Lucha space, disrespecting everything that they work for, their family, their friends, their culture, and themselves as an individual. That's how you know it's not a real Lucha, because they would never rip the face off. That's like ripping the skin off of somebody's face. Picks up the victory, pretends to be this joke, cheats his way there, and he turns around and does another thing this week. Uses a weapon to get the job done in a non-disqualification match, which is also something a low Lucha wouldn't do. That's how you know they're fibbing. Our Hall of Famer, our legendary Rey Mysterio gets a chance and an opportunity to knock this Lucha down, this fake Lucha down, as a true King Lucha Underground at WrestleMania in a one-on-one singles action. For that little, I'm going to hit you with the injury and get away with it. And of course, the shenanigans, the rest of LWO make sure American Made knows what true luchas is and learn their place at WrestleMania. And I'm looking forward to it as they get that opportunity to do so. Once for all, shut it up and shut it down. And speaking of shutting up and shutting down, how about main event Jey Uso? Gonna walk in at WrestleMania, a new man, and walk out, have an opportunity to walk out, shock the world as world champion against Gunther. Not only for his family for what Gunther did, that was just despicable and ridiculous. Should have been some kind of consequence for him. I'm sure he had to pay a fine from Adam Pearce from obviously injuring WWE superstar, of course, with the medical bills, had to find you for that because the match was over. Jay came out there and was whooping your ass so bad you were running away from the fight. He wasn't going to let you disrespect his family like that. You don't mess with the bloodline members and get away with it. And then he has to tie him, zip tie you to the apron and get your way. Because, even with that little slip and that botch, people want to laugh at. Jay still knocked Gunther on his ass. Even with a busted open mouth, Jay still took him out. Any security guards, officials could not stop him from getting his hands on Gunther. That slap across the face from Jimmy, laughing at the little trip from, Jay the week before, protecting him. Of course, Jimmy's out there, Gunther as a world champion, wins the match over Jimmy to show why he is and been world and intercontinental champion. Between that, he's been a champion the last 4 years here in the WWE. Jay goes out there, protects his family when the match is over because that was damn ridiculous. The attack from Gunther, unnecessary. I'm sure Adam Pearce is finding from assaulting the referees, officials, with this brutal attack from Gunther decides to put on the Usos. And like I said, you don't mess with the bloodline. Jay Uso's a changed man, came out there and even shocked. That's the first time we ever seen Gunther not smiling, nervous, running away from Jey Uso because he was beating him. He never runs away. And he was speechless when Jay got in his face last week on Raw, which we never seen that either. So for the first time, now we've seen Gunther slipping up. Gunther was running away from Jay. Usually he's the one dominating. He's running away. He's usually the one getting the last word with a smile on his face. He was speechless. And even when Jay was talking to him, he couldn't even smile in his face about it. So that's how you know Jey Uso, like I've been saying since day one, has got Gunther's number. And that's what makes Gunther so mad at that. Jey Uso can be the first guy that walks out as world champion against, one, beat Gunther for the world championship and makes up for those other matches. Two, Gunther for the first time out of 4 years in WWE will not be champion, and he'll be at WrestleMania, and he'll be against someone like Jey Uso who he doesn't respect. You may not like it, but you will respect him and call him your world champion. Main event Jey Uso is ready this time. That's all I have to say about that. And speaking of ready and championships and competition, we're talking about tag teams. How about the War Raiders walking in and out as our World Raw Tag Team Champion, because Raw is War Raiders against the New Day, who technically didn't earn their opportunity, but went out there and wanted for tag teams anyhow. I guess they figured they're a better tag team without New Day, this newcomer they're coming since a steel chair was involved, got a taste of their own medicine. Maybe we're going to see the War Raiders versus the New Day in the Extreme Rules tag team match for the tag team championship belt. Maybe they'll announce that this coming Monday. As well as what else was already announced, the Intercontinental World Championship belt, as Braun Breaker can get his hands on Penta, as they got in a little altercation the week before, as he did a little bit last week. He can get his hands on Finn and Dominic for the Intercontinental Championship belt, as he did last week for that little tag team situation. And he certainly did when the match was over, that Braun wasn't getting away with it, nor at WrestleMania for steel chairs trying to injure both Penta and Braun Breaker. They got a fatal four-way for the Intercontinental World Championship belt, along with Cody Rhodes having something to prove as World SmackDown Champion against one of the GOATs like John Cena. Not speaking of championships and hard and gold and earning your way in and out. And speaking of fatal four-ways and triple threat, Tribal Chief versus Seth freaking Rollins. The visionary, the revolutionary, I should call him then, versus CM Punk, the best in the world, who have history, who know each other well, who's been in this game, been through hell and back, Elimination Chamber, Survivor Series, holding down Raw and SmackDown, have history amongst each other. WrestleMania and championships are no different from the mindset that's already been done and accomplished by Roman and Seth. Now WrestleMania will be no different in the main event from CM Punk, who also has history with these men, for a triple threat main event at WrestleMania. In that match, I think that Paul Heyman is working with Seth Rollins to win his match, move on. CM Punk will be happy he got to main event WrestleMania, and OTC will be happy because he stays untouchable, and everybody's happy in front of 2K25. I think with the Intercontinental Championship belt, I think that either Braun Baker could walk out Intercontinental Championship belt for what happened with that tag team with the Judgment Day. And of course, with the steel chair before, that's why he came out last week and made a statement as Penta won the match for that tag team and the steel chair between him and Braun Breaker backstage. Maybe Penta can win his first Intercontinental Championship bout, as he's been the Iron Man of Monday Night Raw. He's been the Iron Man of the Royal Rumble. He's been winning the singles action on Raw. He's been getting the competition. He's been out doing the brawl fights. You've seen him doing this brawl fight and no hard-roll match on him and Braun. Braun came out there and wiped out Penta for the altercation backstage. He wiped out the Judgment Day for, of course, the week before, the tag team, and even scurried them off when they thought they was going to attack when the match was all said and done. So now they got an opportunity. What happened with no steel? Here's, of course, the Judgment Day just showing they're on the same page, that they're dominated. How much will Finn and Dominic be on the same page when they have to verse each other for the Intercontinental Championship belt at WrestleMania is the question. And that could allow Braun Baker to take them both out. He's been a one-man band as the Intercontinental Champion, wiping out the Judgment Day himself. Be no different than doing that at WrestleMania against Kalisto and Finn Balor. Finn Balor he's beaten for the Intercontinental Championship belt, and Dominic, and as far as he goes, who show up and show out why he belongs here. And including Kalisto's shenanigans, Braun Baker's been able to take out a 3-on-1 assault brawl fight and for the Intercontinental Championship belt. So it should be no different at WrestleMania. He also has Penta, who will even up the odds, who's also got problems with the Judgment Day, who assaulted him last week on Raw when the match was over. That can certainly help him even up the odds, but also remind him that he's on the line too for the Intercontinental Championship belt. It's going to be a fatal four. It's going to be wild. It's going to be crazy. We also got the phenomenal AJ Styles. He's got business with Karen Cross and Raw before him and Logan Paul show who I guess the prime player is, as you would say it, at WrestleMania. Along with the OTC on Monday Night Raw next week, coming to clear things up before the main event in the triple threat. As you saw it happen, Seth freaking Rollins telling Paul Heyman he owes him a favor by saving his life and stomping the brains, which is what he likes to do, no better than CM Punk. So that reminds me right there and then, Roman's had Paul Heyman on his side, but he's also stabbed you in the back and cost you championships and opportunities when you and Brock Lesnar was going at it. He's also helped CM Punk, as he calls you, tribal chief, your right-hand man. He's also helped CM Punk, his best friend, but also stabbed him in the back with candlesticks, beating him as he told him that he loved him. Costing him opportunities too. So who's to say that Paul won't have that slick smirk across his face and stab CM Punk in the back again, or Roman Reigns like he did on SmackDown, making him go to sleep again. Which is why Roman put that steel chair in his back for doing things like that in the past. For the second time. Imagine how Raw he's got to say when OCT would be there, but I don't know if Paul would be smart enough or wise enough to stay out of Roman Reigns' way. And as far as CM Punk goes, he had the upper hand. All he wants is him and CM Punk going after it with Seth Rollins. That's all he wants is some revenge on that. And Seth Rollins is ready. And I think Seth is playing it very mindful. While they think they got Paul wrapped around their finger, Paul could be slipping over to Seth Rollins to win the competition. And there's no disqualifications. And there's no counters that can beat the hell out of each other. But I think Paul Heyman has something up his sleeve for Seth Rollins to make the last man stand tall as a victorious in that main event. CM Punk will be happy he got to go to WrestleMania in the main event. OTC will be happy because he wasn't touched. And Seth can finally move on, that he finally beat CM Punk like he wanted to. And what better than to do it in the main event at WrestleMania and have Paul on your side to stir up another story, to show why Seth Rollins is the mastermind of manipulations, and you can't manipulate another manipulating mastermind. CM Punk and Roman Reigns and Seth Rollins all got that in common. They are dominated. They won championships. They've been the face of this company for years. They have history with each other. They've been in big competitions like Royal Rumble and Elimination Chamber. And they all know Paul Heyman very well. And how this industry works. But they're also can mind game you at the same time you're trying to do it to them. So that's one that they've got a lot in common as much as less they want to admit. Not to mention CM Punk after Raw went off air playing Seth freaking Rollins in his code just for the laughter of it in Monday Night Raw in general. And our man joining Netflix showing that how it is spreading to all sports and acting and wrestling. That Netflix on Monday Night Raw has been officialized the #1 show for a reason. So with all that being said, that would cover Korean KZK commentary / reaction on Monday Night Raw for this week. You guys can go ahead right here on this playlist. As you guys can see, it's been playing in the background. You can see more liking. Watch this commentary / reaction with Queen KZK, and the rest of the video is on that playlist. That this video will also be added to that playlist. Raw, SmackDown, WWE Live, NXT, all the above, Elimination Chamber, Royal Rumble, pay-per-views, commentary / reaction with Queen KZK to Raw shows, SmackDown shows, WWE Live shows, after Raw and SmackDown updates, and even pay-per-views on it. With all that being said, that is the playlist right there for this that will be added along with the rest of the commentary / reaction with Korean KZK, Raw, SmackDown, pay-per-views, and even WWE Live and NXT. And also you can check out the video game streaming as Hall of Fame is coming up. I'll be doing some Hall of Fame matches on gameplay with Korean KZK right there on the playlist as well to watch and enjoy that. And since WrestleMania is coming up, I'll be doing WrestleMania, not only the predictions and the results, but you can watch comics like Raw and SmackDown tomorrow that you guys can watch. And the shout outs to the Instagram and social media over here. As you guys can see to the Instagram to be involved in that, or you can check out the page and the story like this for freestyles and stiffness and entertainments and funny videos and things like that as well that are out. And also the gameplay of WrestleMania. I'm going to be doing one of that along with this page and story right here for the latest Raw and SmackDown live show even after Raw and SmackDown went off air. You can check out Queen and K page and story if you want to know the SmackDown tomorrow predictions. You can also go to the social media right here that I was talking about in the beginning of this video that I mentioned a couple times here, just so you're aware to get updates and more enlightenment. Gameplay and more. You can also check it out right here. Take a picture of it, write it down, memorize it, Snapchat it. Whatever you gotta do to be involved in the conversation through Instagram tomorrow with the SmackDown. Check out that page and story for the SmackDown prediction. Check out the comments for the results. And gameplay of Hall of Fame will be on there along with the prediction results. And the gameplay of WrestleMania as a gamer and entertainer as well. Part of the creative team, the podcaster team, and commentary / reaction to Monday Night Raw for this one. Having on that Snapchat and more. With all that being said, Green KDK out. Peace.